All right, so we're finally going to install the water pump, but before I do that, I wanted to paint it. When I got it in the box, it came in as a raw casting. And you know as well as I do that given enough time, it was going to rust and really take away from the appearance of the engine bay. So I decided to paint it black so it would match everything else in the engine bay. So take a look and I'll show you how I did it. So let's get started replacing that water pump. Now the first thing I have to do is to pull off that old gasket. And I'm going to do that using just a putty knife. Now I want to get it off, but I want to be careful that I'm not gouging that face at all. I want to make sure that I get a good seal when I'm done. And I'm also trying not to get any kind of material, if I can, out down inside that water jacket. This has definitely been on there for a while. All right, so that came off pretty nicely. All right, so I've got a little bit of stuff on this. I don't know if that's looks like they put some kind of a silicone gasket on there as well. I'm going to scrape all that off and sand it down. I talked to a buddy of mine that has his own YouTube channel, Auto Resto Mod, and I asked him whether I should put any additional silicone sealer on it, and he suggested that if the face is in good shape, just to use the gasket that comes with the water pump. And right now it's not looking too bad. I've done this in other places on the Jeep, like under this horn, where the amount of silicone gasket material was just thick and it came off, and I really had to work pretty hard at it. All right, so I want to go get a nice flat sanding block so that I can sand that surface without buggering it up. So what I have is a piece of walnut that I milled flat on my Bridgeport, and then I glued a piece of rubber on it so that when I sand, I don't get any hard edges. It works really well, and I'm going to use it on this as well. So what I'm using is a piece of 100 grit sandpaper. Now it's aggressive enough to remove the scale and to remove this silicone gasket material. And it'll actually also shine up the plastic too. So I should end up with a nice clean flat surface that I can get the gasket on. So I'm going to clean that off a little denatured alcohol or acetone in order to clean all that residue off. We're all ready to put that water pump in, so we've got a new gasket. And I bought some new stainless steel hardware to bolt it up with. So the first thing I'm going to do is put some annexes on the threads of these bolts, because we want them to definitely come out later. So we'll do that. The water pump, all nicely painted. The back surface is nice and clean. All right, so I have the gasket over the water pump. The longest bolt goes through the horn. And we'll put that in there and get it started. All right, so there is another place over here that a bolt goes in, so I'm going to put one in temporarily. This is where the standoff is going to go for the alternator, but I want to be able to torque this up equally until I'm ready to put that standoff and that alternator in. So this is just about maintaining some even torque all the way around that water pump. All right. All right, so that's done. I'm going to let those rest a while until I get that alternator installed. Then I'll come back and lightly torque them up again. All right, that ends this episode. When we come back next time, the plan is to install the alternator. Now, I've got some work I need to do. I need to build some standoffs, and I need to get another pulley for that alternator that actually fits the pulleys on the water pump. Now, I've been to the parts store. This was an AC Delco alternator, and nobody at the parts store seems to know if you can get another pulley for that. So I'm going to pull that one off, shop around and see if there's one available that is the right size, and if not, then I'm gonna hire a machine shop and get that made a little bit wider for the 5/8 belt. All right, so when we come back, that's what we're gonna do. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't, ring the bell and you'll get a notice, and we'll see you next time.